When you look at your life and the distinctions that you've made that have been most life-changing in your energy, your work, and your love, what arises for you?
Let's talk about work first. The defining thing in my career, in a sense, was I said no to a lot of jobs along the way. Everybody I knew who was a writer couldn't deal with the panic of, oh crap, how do I pay my bills? Where's dinner coming from? How am I going to pay rent? And they took a job as an editor and they became editors. And that's what they did. Now, some of them in their 50s and 60s have finally come back to writing, and now they're starting to write again, but they weren't writers, they were editors. And I saw that. And I saw a lot of my peers get scared and take the easy way out. And I just said no to the jobs that were offered to me, because I knew that if my time was the most precious, if I was going to write books, I had to write books, right? And so work-wise, it was what I said no to was really important. And being willing, like there were times I turned down editing jobs where it was insane. You know what I mean? Where like, I can't pay bills. I'm about to borrow money from people to pay bills, and I'm still saying no to the job, kind of thing. So there were a handful of those. And some of it, Ryan, it sounds very heroic. It's not. It's also that I know myself and I don't work well with bosses. I don't fit into good corporate structures. I need to be either the guy at the top or not involved at all. Yep. And so I knew myself also. So I knew that like, even if I took the job for safety's sake or whatever, I was going to get fired. Somebody was going to fire me. It wasn't going to last. But that saying no really mattered. And when it comes to love, so it's funny, of the things I'm proudest of, like if you were to come to me and say, Stephen, what are you really proud of? I'm really proud of my marriage. Been married for 18 years. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. My best friend is my editor. And we've worked together for almost 30 years. And both my editor and my wife, neither of them are pushovers. Both of them have very sharp edges. They're a little like me. They have sharp edges. We're not always pleasant with each other. It's like any really long, you have a 30-year working relationship, you have a 20-year marriage. It's freaking hard. So when I think about like marriage, I'll like my wife and I'll be sitting out and trying to talk through some problem. And I'll realize that like this woman has been willing to sit down with me and talk through some problem once or twice a week for fucking 20 years. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like, you know, and I've been willing to do the same with her, but like, that's a massive. So when I think about love, I actually think about work. When I think about work, I think about saying no to other work to protect the work. Those are just the things that came to mind. But I think the road to fulfillment is long projects. I think that there's something to be said for very long. You know, I probably was in a gym for 10 years before I actually got into shape the first time. My first novel took 11 years to write. 20 years of marriage, like those kinds of long projects. Even the Flow Research Collective, right? I like the fact that I had a couple other companies beforehand that didn't go the way I wanted them to work. So finally now, you know, I like those kinds of long projects. But when it comes to like work and love, that's what pops in my mind.